These are cows. So, got to talk a little bit about cows, because if you're up with the news recently, in recent days, you know that these cows have gotten kind of a bad rap.
Yep.
And you know, they're burping and they're passing gas and they're destroying the solar cats. We're all going to die in 40 years because of cows. So let's talk about the cow, which is an herbivore. So what's the role of the herbivore in nature? Well, yeah, they do move. So this, I have the spark turned off, so you're not it's all good. It's all good. They're fine. They're fine. They can touch it all they want to. So this, one of the most amazing things to me that still just makes me weep is this right here is sunlight. 100 pounds of grass is 95 pounds of sunlight and only 5 pounds of soil. Soil is nothing more than a catalyst, if you will. What's going on here through chlorophyll is to capture something as mystical and esoteric as sunbeams and put them into something that's physical, fungible, measurable, tradable. Is that not cool? Okay? And the grass plant does that. But it has a problem. It has a problem. It doesn't live forever. Okay? So it has a cycle of growth in which it starts and then it grows fast and then it slows down. So if I could take this blade of grass and illustrate it, I'd make an S like this. It's a sigmoid curve for those of you who are in trig and calculus. All right, it's a sigmoid curve, and so here's where it starts down here. Then it goes through this very rapid expansion, and then it goes into senescence. So to help us understand this, I call this diaper grass, teenage grass, nursing home grass. Okay, now, if we want to collect as much sunbeams into carbon, into biomass as possible, of those three stages, where do we want it to be as much of the time as possible? Teenage. I don't do trick questions. I'm straight up with you. I'm transparent, okay? Yeah, we don't want it in diaper, and we don't want it in nursing home. We want it in juvenile stage. So, how does that happen throughout nature? The fact is that that the deepest soils, the best soils on the planet, are not under forests. They were built under perennial prairies with herbivores on top. Why? Because grass is way more efficient at converting solar energy into biomass than trees and bushes are. Now, the average person on the street, you ask them, which one sequesters more carbon? Trees, bushes, or grasses, or forages? The average person will say, trees. But what does a group like this, that's so much more intelligent than anybody out there on the street, what do you say? Grasses, yes, and you would be right. Yes, it's forages. That's the efficient one. But the problem is, it doesn't live as long as a tree. It has a very fast growth and production and then death cycle. So, in nature, herbivores are pruners, so that when this forage reaches nursing home stage, senescence, here comes a giraffe, an alpaca, a bison, a caribou, a wildebeest, a zebra, a reindeer, okay, a groundhog, all right? It comes along and prunes it off like a viticulturalist would prune a grapevine or an orchardist would prune an apple tree, not to kill it, but to actually stimulate this new, verdant, freshened up growth. Everybody follow that? That's the role of the herbivore in nature. Well, how does nature do that? They do it with 3 M's. So this is a test. Can everybody give me the 3 M's from up at the chickens? Mobile, modular, management intensive. Good. You're all. Everybody. We'll do the Swedish system here. Everybody gets a blue ribbon. All right. All right. Are you ready for 3 more M's? 3 more M's. All right. How does nature do this with herbivores? First of all, they're moving. They don't stay in the same place. You know, you watch any nature documentary, and you're seeing the wildebeest migrate. They have a migratory choreography. They move from seasons and day to day. They move across. They don't stay in the same place. Number 2 is they're mobbed up. They're not all spread out off the Serengeti. They're mobbed up. Why are they mobbed up? Predator protection, yeah, because the camera goes around in the bushes and there's a lion or a tiger, jaguar, or whatever sitting there. Okay? So the predation keeps them mobbed up. That makes them eat way more aggressively, faster, so they spend more time ruminating, chewing their cud. The whole science to that whole thing. And then the third thing is they're mowing. They're mowing. They're not eating dead chickens and dead cows and corn and stuff. They're eating forages and fermenting it. Okay? So moving, mobbing, mowing. Got it? Moving, mobbing, mowing. If you violate any one of those 3, you take what nature gives us as a blessing or an asset and turn it into a liability. Okay? And the fact is that 98% of the domestic herbivores on the planet are violating at least one of those 3 M's, and many of them are violating all 3. They're not moving. They're in the same field all the time. They're not mobbed up. They're all spread out. Or they're not mowing. They're in a feedlot. Okay? So those are the 3 M's. So to demonstrate how we duplicate nature's model, I'm going to move these. We do this every day. So yesterday, this paddock that they're in, yesterday, looked just like that. Okay? This is 24 hours. So I'm going to move them now, show you what we do every day. I'm going to give them their new salad bar so that this can begin to rest, and they can now prune that over there like they pruned this overnight. All right? So just enjoy, bear with me, it'll be fine. How big is this paddock and how many heads? So there's 83 head here. We're going to call these 75 cow equivalents, and the paddock is 2/3 of an acre. So this is about 100 cow day grass. 100 cow day grass, I'm giving them about 2/3 of an acre. All right, here we go.
So freaking inspiring.
I know. Oh, buddy. Ouch. Bump your head. Sorry, okay. Bump your head. Hey, walk.
I was going to argue on that.
All right. So that's my chores. It's hard work, but somebody's got to do it. Did I say something about skill and practical knowledge?
Intellect.
Up there? Yeah, yeah. So that looks real easy, but there's a whole lot behind it to make it look that easy. Okay, I'm just saying, you know, it's pretty cool. So then they'll have that tomorrow evening, they'll go to the next one, So every day they're moving along paddock to paddock. So what does this do? Well, in Augusta County, the average cow days per acre, a cow day is what one cow will eat in a day. Okay? So if I took all the food you ate today, put it on a plate, that would be one person day of food, okay? So what one cow eats in one day is one cow day. So in Augusta County, the average cow days per acre is 80 cow days per acre. In other words, the average acre will support 80 cows for one day a year, or one cow for 80 days a year. Everybody with me? Okay? We average 400. And we haven't bought a bag of chemical fertilizer or planted a seed in 60 years. Okay? Again, I'm not bragging. I'm just paying homage to this incredible, abundant system that's here that we're supposed to leverage. Okay? Well, just imagine, for everybody who thinks the planet's running out of food, we don't have enough food to feed everybody, imagine if the neighbor did this, and that neighbor did it, and all of Swope did it, and then if all of Augusta County did it, and if all of Virginia did it. Folks, we don't have a problem feeding ourselves. What we have a problem is constipation of imagination. That's our problem. See? And management. Okay? Now, you remember how many I said the average acre in Augusta County is? How many cow days? 80. You remember what I said that is? 400. No, I said we get 400. What's this one grazing? 100. So they're eating more in this one grazing, and this is the 5th time they grazed this summer. So they're getting more in this one grazing than the average farm in the county gets in the entire season with continuous, uncontrolled, unmanaged grazing. Okay? So it works, it's abundant, and because of that abundance, just think how much more solar energy we're metabolizing into carbon, being able to do that, okay? One word about methane. Interestingly, when you have a healthy perennial sward, it produces methanotrophic bacteria in the soil food web. Methanotrophic bacteria. And a healthy perennial grass area will produce enough methanotrophic bacteria to pull down and suck into the ground the methane generated by 1,000 cows per acre.
Here, okay?
Well, nobody's ever going to put 1,000 cows on an acre. Over here, then. But they don't tell you that in Cowspiracy and What the Hell and the UN Long Shadow Report. The problem is that their data points are from a dysfunctional system, and so when they extend out their dysfunctional data points, they lead to all sorts of stupidity, or a non-recognition of how nature is so intricate and complex that it balances itself out. All right, questions? Yes. When will they be back on this plot? In the spring. So this is the last cycle through of the year. Yeah, I mean unless we suddenly had, 80 degrees for a month, which we're not going to get. So this is kind of our last pass of the season. Yeah. And the rest period varies depending on season and rainfall and temperature and all those kinds of things. Even before that. Yeah. Yes. Do we grow animals or do we grow plants? Okay. So our main plant is this. But yeah, we grow vegetables, like vegetables and squash and sweet potatoes and stuff like that. Absolutely we do. We don't grow much to sell. Now if anybody wants to come and do a full-time horticulture operation here, please come, talk to me. We are open for that. We've had that twice in our past. And so we don't want an employee. We want an entrepreneur that builds a horticulture operation here, okay? And we're open to it, ready to it. Come talk to us. Yes.
Can you talk about water management?
Water management. So where's the water coming, that trough up there, where's that water coming from? That water is coming from a mile away from ponds that we built up in the mountain, permaculture style. They're not in creeks or streams, they're just in valleys that collect surface runoff in snow melt and big rain events and store it like a savings account. So we have 8 miles of water line around all these fields that gravity feeds. It gravity feeds from those ponds up there, 8 miles, no pumps, no electricity, just gravity, and gives us 70 psi water around the edge of all these fields. So that is one of the more, it took a long time to get there. We didn't do it all overnight, but that is one of the things that makes this possible. We're up on that hilltop where we were with the chickens, where those lambs are up there at the top of the sheep bar, top of the hill. That gravity, the ponds are higher than that, what pushes that water right up to the top of the hill. So if the electricity goes out or something, there's no pumps, there's no electricity, no nothing. Gravity just keeps on giving us water. And the day gravity stops, folks, I'm out of here. Okay? Yes? How do you do the mob part? Well, the mob part is just that. In other words, they can't go way out there. They're constricted by another fence. So we don't have lions and tigers, but what we have is portable electric fence. So that portable electric fence becomes a steering wheel, a brake, and an accelerator on that 4-legged pruner. And we can steer them around the landscape with the same precision as a zero-turn mower. Is that not cool? That's very cool. First time in human history that's been possible. So we're not anti-technology. What we love is technology that allows us to come alongside nature as a partner, respecting the templates of nature and simply leveraging them. Okay? Maybe one more question and we'll move on to the chickens. Yes.
Come here.
What's the minimum amount of cows that you can control in this way?
What's the minimum amount of cows you can control in this way? It'd be 1. Yeah. So all of this is scalable and simple math. All right. So if you have 2 cows, this is 100 cow day grass, and you have 2 cows, you give them 1/50th of an acre a day. A 50th of an acre is 100 square yards. An acre is roughly 5,000 square yards. Football field. Okay? So 5,000 square yards divided by 2 is a 50th. All right? So 5,000 divided by 50 would be 100 square yards. So 100 square yards could be obviously 10 yards by 10 yards. That would be for 2 cows. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's totally scalable. And if you can't remember the formula, it's cows times days divided by acres, cow days per acre. We've got shirts in the gift shop, in the sales building, with the formula on the back. Remember, all right, back on the wagons. Let's go to my last stop.